Hey everyone, Dr. Brian Capra here from Genesis Chiropractic Software. Today I'm going to talk to you about what you have to do if your server crashes. Of course, what I'm referring to is a client server based system. That's your Platinum, your ChiroTouch, any other system that's not in the cloud. Genesis, as you know, has been in the cloud for 15 years or so. So we know quite a bit about this, or I know quite a bit about this. I actually had a client server system before we started Genesis. This was one of the scariest things that I had to think about as far as the software in my office running. If this thing ever crashed, what would I do? And there's always like a disaster recovery process, right? Yet hopefully you're backing up your data every single day at least. And hopefully your software company has taught you how to test whether or not that data recovery is actually working. But what you'll have to do if that server crashes, and when I say crash, not just crashes, but is fried, and that's going to happen every 3 to 5 years. So when that happens, of course you have to buy a new server. The first thing you got to do is find some type of expert, some type of network expert that knows how to work with different components of a network in your office. So you contact your expert. You're going to have to get a new server of cost. You could expect to spend $2,500 to $5,000 on that. Get that server, you're going to have to configure the database. It's not like you just get the server and plug it in. You have to configure the database. Then you have to load the software, whatever software you're using, on that server. Then you have to network that server to all your other computers in the office to get that network back up and running. And somewhere in there you have to restore the data, and hopefully that data backup worked. Now, this is a stark contrast from other systems like Genesis in the cloud. First of all, we have multiple site redundant server backups in real time, so it's not at the end of the night or anything like that. It's actually backing up every second or two as you're actually using Genesis in the cloud. So everything is backed up. So if your server in your office crashed, if you have a server, you don't need one for a cloud-based system, but it would have literally no effect. But if your computer crashed or something like that, it still has no effect because you're literally just accessing all your data every time you log into Genesis. So remember now, with a cloud-based system, there's really no issues with data. We also got to remember, with a cloud-based system like Genesis, your data is being stored and backed up in real time in a HIPAA-compliant data center. So as opposed to your data being on a server in your office, which has all kinds of HIPAA compliance risks where somebody could hack that server and get that data, and that would be your liability, 100% on you. Make sure you have HIPAA compliance insurance. But if you have a cloud-based system and you're outsourcing basically your HIPAA compliance and your data backup, you don't have that level of exposure. So again, the data for a cloud-based system like Genesis is stored in a HIPAA compliant data center, and you can't even get into the building without biometric scanning and things like that. The other thing to remember is servers break all the time, right? With Genesis, we have multiple servers running all the time. So if one crashes, the other one kicks in and so on. So the users would typically never see a downtime at all. If one server just crashed, the other one would just pick up where it left off. But something to remember, in these data centers, they have server experts, technology experts on staff 24/7. So if anything, God forbid, happens, we know we have people on site. It's not dependent on somebody at our company 24/7 round the clock. So hopefully what you're seeing with this, there's a lot of extra cost associated with a client server system. There's a lot of extra exposure with a client server system. And there's a lot more risk just generally of downtime, because even if your server goes down and you know what to do, it's going to take you quite some time to get back up and running. So hopefully you can understand the differences between downtime with a client server system and a cloud-based system. And that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for the next video.